Welcome back to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. If you're just tuning in, you're going to want to go to nowmedia.tv. Click on shows, go to Power CEOs and catch the first half of today's segment. It has been pure gold. But without further ado, we're going to shift gears because I have an amazing next guest. We're going to talk about breaking the belief barriers, mindset shifts that will build empires from scarcity to scale. I have with me Papi DiNuzzo. He took his wealth practice from $0 to $1 billion in assets under management. He is an expert in all things mindset coaching. Welcome to the show, Papi.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Jen. Thanks.
Papi. Oh my goodness. The topic of the day. How do I shift my mindset? Like a lot of times we think that it's strategy and tactics and all of these other things in business, which don't get me wrong, they're very, very important. But we think that that's what's going to get us to that next level, and yet we keep hitting this glass ceiling. It's actually a limiting belief. It's a belief structure. A lot of times it's limiting money beliefs or something else. Talk to me about how entrepreneurs can get past that ceiling that we just keep coming up across.
Sure, and I just so the audience, so the entrepreneurs know where I'm coming from, whenever I talk about manifesting the law of attraction, you can think it's a little bit woo, but everything with me starts with when I read Think and Grow Rich years ago. Andrew Carnegie shared every thought in his head with Napoleon Hill. Then the next generation, my book, Manifesting That You Can Imagine. So again, Andrew Carnegie grows an empire of hundreds of billions of dollars in net worth. He said, Papi, every single dollar I manifest of my hundreds of billions in net worth, I manifested through the law of attraction. Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, all of this knowledge. You take a look at successful CEOs and entrepreneurs, how much time they spend meditating to allow them to have access to their subconscious mind. And I would just suggest to your entrepreneurs, very successful folks today, to tap into the creative power, to co-create with everything around you through your subconscious mind. That is our most successful CEOs, entrepreneurs, athletes, musicians, etc., through manifesting through the law of attraction.
So talk to me, take me back, because you started from scratch and you built a practice of over $1 billion in assets under management. Did you ever have a moment where you caught yourself thinking too small, or your own glass ceiling, if you will? And how did you move through that?
Yeah, and the limiting beliefs, as you mentioned earlier, Jen, you really hit the nail on the head. In our subconscious mind, we have what I call a paradigm. It's like our hardware and operating system. And I mean this with all love to all of your listeners, but your operating system has a virus. And for the first 6 or 7 years of our life, we didn't have any protection of our conscious mind, and all of this we hear around us. So entrepreneurs in general are pretty optimistic folks, but you really need to start thinking about canceling or rejecting anything negative coming to you. And it's just not the power of positive thinking, but it's the auto-suggestions, the positive self-talk to yourself, and you will be defined, entrepreneurs, an awful lot by your inner circle. The universe says, Papi, keep your inner circle as tight as possible and keep it with other like-minded individuals who are at the same level of vibration or higher. So entrepreneurs want to be very careful, the audience, the company they're keeping, so to speak. And you'll notice a lot of very successful entrepreneurs hang out with other very successful entrepreneurs. And I can guarantee you, Jen, that when I am around very, very successful people, I hear them talking negativity, zero or very close to it. So you talk about success an awful lot, you're going to have success in your life. That vibration's going out. That's what it's going to attract coming back in. But just knowing these limiting beliefs are there, and as you were saying earlier, Jen, like if you stay in your comfort zone, all you're going to get is more of what you've already gotten. Entrepreneurs, it amazes me every time I see this study, Jen, is that entrepreneurs, when they go out of business or things slack down and are not nearly as successful as they were before, are not because they do things poorly. They're not because they do things poorly. It's because they've been doing the same thing the same way and they never modify or change. So I'm a change agent. I'm here to help you today. Let's break that and let's just make a little bit of a veer on our course, because you get to express and expand, increase, and grow. And that's what entrepreneurs are great at, and just need a little nudge sometime to get them back on track.
You know, entrepreneurs tend to be very high-performing individuals, and as such, we're comfortable pushing that comfort zone. But sometimes scarcity mindset seeps in subtly before it even manifests into that decay, if you will, of our growth or progress. So what does it look like? How can we see those subtle scarcity or those subtle beliefs that are slinking into our being, and rewire that to abundance before it actually takes us down that rabbit hole.
You know, my fellow brothers and sisters, first of all, knowing what the challenge is I think at least 80% of the battle right there. So if you can think it in your mind, you can and will hold it in your hand. Now, our fellow brothers and sisters, Jen, have up to 60,000 thoughts per day. Up to 60,000 thoughts per day. What percentage of those are negative? 80%. And 90% are recurring. So for every 5 thoughts the average fellow brother and sister of ours is having, 4 are negative. So we just want to understand that to start off with. Now, we can only have one thought in our mind at a time. It's so important. You control, you've got all this power. Don't let anything negative in there. So I've got an acronym I call CAPA. Your thought is either creative or competitive. We always want it to be creative. That's in line with the universe. The next one you already mentioned, scarcity. Your mind can only be either in a mindset of abundance or scarcity. You will find what you're thinking. If you're thinking scarcity, you'll find scarcity. Scarcity will attract itself to you. The next one is faith or fear. And faith or fear, Jen, I love this one. Faith or fear, over 90% of the time, there's no evidence for either. Faith, hard, concrete evidence, or fear, and fearful, false evidence appearing real, F-E-A-R. Fear, over 90% of the time, Jen, what our fellow brothers and sisters are fearful for never materializes. It never materializes, yet it sinks so many ships, so to speak. So err on the side of faith. And last one is positive attitude versus negative attitude. You put out a positive attitude, your fellow brothers and sisters will be attracted to you. Negative attitude, have you ever you're in a meeting, you're in a room with somebody for 5 minutes, Jen, and you walk out and you're like, oh man, your shoulders down. You're like, I am wiped out. Yep. Well, they're at a very low energy level. They need to be up here to be able to breathe oxygen, so to speak. So it's like, hey, Jen's in, you got a lot of energy. I'm taking your energy, and you walk out, your shoulders or something, you're knocked out for like the next 4 hours or something until you get recharged. So the power of your mind and your mindset is so mission critical.
Yeah, and I want to recap that because I want to make sure for the people in the back, make sure you pick up on this. You want to live in abundance, not scarcity. You want to have that abundance mindset. If you find yourself slipping into scarcity, it's time to flip the script because we get what we focus upon. We want to live in creative as opposed to competitive. We say this all the time. Like when you look at the most successful entrepreneurs, it's because they're collaborating with other people. We're creating and we're co-creating. And I loved that overcoming fear aspect because it's so true. Yeah. I have this conversation all the time, actually, especially with my analytically minded people, my financial, my engineering, my doctors. We always think about the absolute worst case scenario, but how many times does that happen? And I always laugh because my worst case scenario is I woke up 6 feet under, and that hadn't happened yet, folks. Yeah. So I'm gonna hope that continues. So we want to continue to have faith that we're going to wake up tomorrow, that we're going to have something other than that worst case scenario. But I really love that kind of framework because it gives us just a couple of things to check. Am I this? Where am I here? Where am I here? And then the positive mental attitude. We talk about it a lot, but it is so incredibly true. So I have a challenge for everyone. You know I'm a coach too, so I want the challenge. My challenge is look at your circle. Look at the 5 people who you spend the most time with, and ask yourself, are they predominantly positive people or are they energy vampires sucking out your soul? Because that could very well be what's keeping us and holding us back. But look at those 5 people who you spend the most time with and ask, are they where you want to be? Are they predominantly positive? Do they have faith that they're able to achieve what it is that they want to do? That is how we actually grow. And are they creative? Do they stimulate creativity in you? I thought that was really fantastic. I know it's in your book. So in case people are interested, how can they learn more about this particular framework that you have? Maybe pick up your book?
Sure. And I start off with, Jen, everything's free with me because I'm here to help my fellow brothers and sisters be as successful as they can. If you go to my website, Papi Mindset Coach, P-A-P-I, mindsetcoach.com, I have free ebooks. I have it in English and in Spanish and Espanol. And then I also have a free 7-day challenge. It's part of my 28-day Manifesting Accelerator online coaching course, but the first 7 days are free. Try it out. I think your entrepreneurs will be very stimulated going through that process and building a base and really understanding this and understanding that literally inside of each one of our 8 billion fellow brothers and sisters our subconscious mind connected to the universal subconscious mind, access to all knowledge and all power of all time to be able to bring anything into your life, health, wealth, happiness, love, relationships, spirituality, whatever's important to our fellow brothers and sisters, they are able to manifest this through the law of attraction and bring it into their life.
So, we only have about a minute before we have to take a break, but what is your key pattern interruption or the key habit that you use when you find yourself on that negative or you have to do that interruption because something has come in? I know you reject all the negative, but what is your pattern interrupt or habit that helps you shift whenever you find yourself in that other space?
Yeah, it's really about, and I refer to it as a ritual, as my daily ritual. And one point, this can seem like a matter of semantics, Jim, but it's a lot bigger than that, is a lot of people are thinking, Papi, a silver bullet or this is complicated. If you just think of it, when I talk with anyone, it's about building a manifesting lifestyle. It's just all these little habit changes throughout the day. Giving gratitude as soon as you wake up in the morning, setting intentions in the morning. I recommend a 3-3-3 affirmation strategy. You write your affirmation 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, and 3 times before you go to sleep at night. Before you go to sleep at night, ask the universe your most important question. What is the answer to? How can I possibly? How do I get to? And just stay open and watch the magic flow. So it's through this daily ritual and these things that you'll do throughout the day to help reset. As you said, cancel, reject, I refuse to participate. I love you mentioned flip the script a little bit ago because I love doing that, even like going on offense. I tell those students from Kenya, whenever anybody tells you you'll never be successful because you were born in Kenya, I say, you state the affirmation, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm going to be phenomenally successful because I was born in Kenya. Flip this script. Our fellow brothers and sisters can manifest anything they can imagine, but just by these very simple routine rituals throughout the day, these little things to get their mind right, when anything negative happens, because of the law of attraction, law of resonance, Jen, even the smallest positive thought, just the smallest positive thought, what's going to happen next, because of the law of resonance, it's going to attract something else positive in. So my fellow brothers and sisters, you don't need to completely reinvent the wheel or like have something dramatic positively happen. When you're going through it, just collect yourself. Again, it could be through, you can maybe through meditation. Here's some breathing. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could be just getting out, going for a walk around the block, so to speak. The sun is so good for us. It's so healthy. Just get outside for even 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. But just that little reset can be so powerful to change your day around and get you back into positive, and then you're attracting positive back into you.
Fantastic. Unfortunately, we do have to take a brief break, but that's your cue. Do something. Take a deep breath. Get yourself shifted to that positive. Change your psychology. Change your physiology to change your psychology. We'll be right back after these messages.